Hustlers, schemers, and weirdos. That's all it is. Podcasting. That's all it is. I want you to try and experiment. I want you to start a podcast. Okay? Just start one. Randomly start one. Or maybe you have a product you're trying to sell or a service that you're trying to sell. Put it out there that you want to be a guest on a podcast. Within minutes, every hustler, swindler, and paid program lover will come calling. I do not listen to about 98% of all podcasts on the market. I don't listen to, I can honestly say I have about 3, and I think that's probably most people. I listen to the High Performance podcast. I listen to the F1 podcast. And I listen to Coast AM when I'm falling asleep. There may be a few other ones in there, like Jordan B. Peterson, that I'll listen to, stuff like that. But beyond that, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts where there's a lot of this paid programming. I want you to think of podcasting as paid programming. You remember those shows that came on at 3 a.m.? Set it and forget it. Buy your own piece of Colorado. No water, no taxes, nothing. But in 10 years, there'll be a big community here in San Luis waiting just for you. But buy it now. Those kind of gimmicks, okay? This is podcasting today. The thing with podcasting is there's no ethics. There's like 0 personal ethics in podcasting and YouTube content today. None. I'm not saying that everyone's like this, but there's a lot. There's a whole lot of people out there on the market who are like this. And podcasting in and of itself has become the classified ads, the paid programming, the Craigslist of today. Okay? This is mostly, that's why you get a lot of podcasts where it's like, well, I just want to talk about my product or my service or what I can do better, and I don't want to tell you too much because then you won't buy my book, or you won't enroll in my course, or you won't buy my service, or you won't hire my coaching. And these people that want to sell to this blue sky podcast audience with millions of downloads from bots and all kinds of shit, the people that buy into this are being used by opportunist schemers, marketers, the lowest scum in the world. I used to think that bankers were probably, and financial people were about the lowest scum in the world until I really had to start dealing with marketers. And then I realized marketers belong in a whole new level of hell. And then I realized that I thought, okay, so I came from the news media business, right? Okay, mainstream media, okay? Where you can absolutely go to Fox News, CNN. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Fox. I can go to Fox News, and with enough money, I can buy a story on Fox News. I can. I can do it to CNN. I can do it to MSNBC. I can do it at my local news station. I can certainly do it in my local newspaper nowadays. I can do it on my radio station, and I can do it on podcasting. All of this junk is paid programming, paid advertisement. People who have a service or product being pushed to the market by entertainers, journalists, people who, celebrities, people my podcast is getting 1 million downloads a week. You, for only $295, can be on this podcast. Holy man, I've gotten so many stupid emails from people with reputable podcasts wanting me to pay them to come on their podcast and be a guest. Bullshit. So I want you to think of podcasting not as something good, But think of it as an infomercial. Think of podcasting as the old infomercial that tried to get you to buy some knives or a rotisserie oven or land in San Luis, Colorado for, $295 down with no water. It's the same kind of scheme. And I'm not saying that everybody who comes on these shows are bad. I'm saying the people who are running these podcasts are bad. I guarantee you I can go to almost any major podcast, give them enough money, and they'll put me on it. That's what you call buying influence. Are humans so desperate today to be liked and loved that we'll just buy anything, including influence? I think the best podcasts out there are the ones that still inform, ones that still go further, the ones that still give you something without a sales pitch. I was interviewing a really nice guy this morning who I think had some really good things to offer. But at the end of the day, it was just a hard sales pitch. And the guests are becoming used to this. It was like he didn't want to talk about anything other than his coaching service. You, my audience, don't care. Because he wasn't really giving you actionable insights. And that's not his fault. He's been trained to think of podcasting as the scum marketers' paid programming. That's what podcasting has become today. Do you think Donald Trump was just invited on all those, J.D. Vance and all those people were just invited on all these podcasts? Of course not. It's pay to play, buddy. To where if you want to do an interview with a reputable like a BBC or something like that, you are not going to be able to buy your way to that table. That's why they don't do interviews with a lot of these people like NPR. And then they're accused of being lame media because they won't take your money. You see? The only way you're seen as legit anymore is if you pay to play. That's it. You could have absolutely nothing to offer anyone, and you could be pay to play. I'm Matt. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share.